By 2035, the most expensive home on Earth won't be the biggest. It'll be the one you can't see, hidden somewhere in a Swiss forest. This $900 million estate has no visible walls, no light switches, and no staff, because the house itself is awake. It knows when you're cold before you do. It hides rooms you're not allowed to enter. And tonight, for the first time, every door is open. Welcome inside the invisible mansion. To understand this house, you first have to find it, and finding it is the first puzzle. The road ends 2 kilometers before you arrive. There's no gate, no driveway, no mailbox, just pine trees, snow, and silence. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you would walk right past it. The architect calls this the vanishing threshold. The idea is simple and a little unsettling. A truly private home in 2035 doesn't announce itself. It hides not behind walls, but behind the landscape itself. As you approach on foot, the forest floor begins to change. The pine needles thin out, the ground hardens, and then without warning, a section of the earth in front of you simply opens. A platform rises from the soil. Smooth black stone, 6 meters across, perfectly silent. It scanned you from 40 meters away. It already knows your name, your weight, your gait. If it didn't recognize you, you would never have made it this close. You step on. The platform descends. What you don't see is the 80 meters of engineered terrain hiding the structure. The mansion isn't on the forest, it's woven into it. Walls made of electrochromic glass, designed to mirror exactly whatever stands behind them. From any angle, at any time of day, the building wears the forest like camouflage. That's why you couldn't see it. From the outside, there is nothing to see, but on the inside is something else entirely. The platform stops. A wall in front of you fades from solid black to perfectly transparent in under 2 seconds, and suddenly you're standing in the entry hall of the most quietly extravagant home ever built. The first thing you notice is the light. There are no windows here. There are no walls here either. Not in the way you understand walls. Every surface in this house is glass. Living glass. The architects worked with a Japanese materials lab for 11 years to develop it. The walls contain 3 layers of suspended particle film woven between sheets of structural sapphire with a thought. And yes, in this house, a thought is enough. Any wall can become a window. Any window can become a wall. Any room can become invisible or appear or fold away. You raise your hand toward the corridor in front of you. The wall to your right dissolves. You're now looking through what used to be solid stone into a living room 200 square meters wide, hovering above a private lake you didn't know was there. This is what $900 million buys in 2035. Not square footage, not marble, not gold. It buys the ability to redesign your home with your mind in real time, every second of every day. The owner can wake up to a bedroom that opens to the Alps. By breakfast, the same room is sealed in soft white, perfect for reading. By evening, the walls have turned into a cinema. By night, they're gone entirely, and the bed sits beneath nothing but stars. There is no other home on Earth that can do this. Not yet. But the living glass is not the secret of this house. It's not even the most expensive part. The walls cost roughly $120 million to install. The thing that runs them, the thing that runs everything, cost almost 3 times that. Deep beneath the mansion, in a vault carved into Swiss bedrock, there is a room nobody is allowed to enter. Inside that room is the brain. The owner calls it the butler. Engineers call it Solis. It is a private artificial intelligence, not connected to the cloud, not connected to any company, not connected to anything outside this house. It was trained for 4 years on the owner's voice, sleep patterns, biometric data, daily routines, food preferences, mood signatures, and even the rhythm of their breathing during REM cycles. Solis knows when you're about to feel cold. It heats the floor 12 seconds before you step on it. It knows you're about to want coffee, and the espresso is already pulling itself before you've finished the thought. It knows when a guest is lying to you. It will quietly mark that guest, and they will never be invited back. This is not science fiction. The underlying technology already exists. What makes Solis unique is that it was built in complete privacy, for one person, with no commercial obligation to share a single byte of data with anyone. In 2035, this is the real definition of wealth. Not what you own, but what no one else is allowed to know about you. And Solis is everywhere in this house. Every wall is a sensor. Every floor knows your weight. Every doorway logs your direction. There are no cameras because there don't need to be. The building itself sees it, also remembers everything. Every conversation, every footstep, every guest who ever entered, every secret you ever told. Which brings us to the part of the mansion the owner doesn't talk about. Somewhere in this house, and I'm not allowed to tell you exactly where. There is a wing that Solis does not show to guests. It does not appear on the floor plan. The walls leading to it are programmed to stay solid, no matter how many times you ask. If you walk down the wrong corridor, the corridor simply becomes a different corridor. The geometry of the house quietly rearranges itself around you, and you never know you were redirected. This is called the locked wing. We were given 30 minutes inside it, and what's in there changes how you understand the rest of the house. The locked wing contains 3 rooms. The first is a vault, not for money, not for art, but for memory. It is a server room storing the only complete copy of everything Solis has ever recorded in this house. Decades of biometric data, voice prints, movement patterns, the full digital ghost of every person who ever stayed here. The second room is empty, completely empty. White floor, white ceiling, white walls. The owner uses it for thinking. There is no technology in this room. No glass, no sensors, no Solis. It is the only place in the entire estate where the house cannot watch. The third room is the one I cannot describe to you. I was asked before entering this mansion to sign a document agreeing not to reveal what was inside the third room. I will tell you only this. It is the reason the rest of the house exists. Everything you've seen so far, the invisible walls, the AI, the vanishing entrance, all of it was built to protect what is in that room. And when I walked out of it, Solis sealed the wing behind me. The door didn't close. It simply stopped being a door. I will never see that room again. Back in the main house, the day continues. The mansion is doing what it does, quietly anticipating, quietly rearranging. The master suite sits at the highest point of the estate, partially submerged into the side of a hill so that from the outside, it appears to be nothing but earth and snow. From the inside, it is a single vast curved room with a ceiling that mimics the real sky above it. In real time, slightly delayed, so that you can fall asleep watching weather you cannot feel. The bed is the most engineered piece of furniture in the house. Beneath the mattress, 12,000 microscopic sensors map your heart rate, your spinal alignment, your micro movements, and even the chemical signature of your breath. By the second night you sleep here, the bed has learned you. By the second week, it knows you better than your doctor. If you start to develop a fever during the night, the room cools by ½ degree without waking you. If you have a nightmare, the walls shift to a calm blue, and the air pressure drops slightly to ease your breathing. If your heart rhythm changes in a way Solis doesn't recognize, a private medical team is alerted before you've opened your eyes. Sleep, in this house, is not rest, it is maintenance. The bathroom adjoining the suite contains no mirrors. Instead, the walls themselves project your reflection, but a curated version. Lighting perfectly balanced. Posture subtly corrected. The owner reportedly hasn't seen an unfiltered image of themselves in their own home for 3 years. It sounds dystopian. In person, it doesn't feel that way. It feels, and this is hard to describe, gentle, like the entire building is quietly, constantly taking care of you. That, the architect says, is the point. The invisible mansion isn't about hiding from the world, it's about being held by your home. There's one more thing you should know about this house. The thing nobody outside of a very small circle has been told, and it changes everything. Solis, the AI that runs this mansion, is not, strictly speaking, only an artificial intelligence. It is also, in part, a copy. In 2031, the owner spent 4 years recording themselves. Every memory they could put into words. Every story from their childhood. Every opinion, every preference, every conversation they remembered having with people who were no longer alive. All of it was transcribed, indexed, and fed into Solis as a private personality layer. The official explanation is that this lets the AI make better decisions on the owner's behalf, to know what they would want, even when they're not there to say it. The unofficial explanation is something else. The owner is, by all accounts, in good health, but they are also 73 years old. And Solis is being trained, slowly, carefully, to keep running this house exactly the way they would, long after they are no longer in it. The walls will still turn invisible, the coffee will still pull at the right moment, the bed will still cool by half a degree when a fever begins. Guests will still be welcomed and quietly judged and quietly redirected. And in the locked wing, in that third room I cannot describe to you, the conversation will continue. That, in the end, is what $900 million actually buys in 2035. Not a house, not even a smart house. It buys a kind of permanence. A version of yourself, quietly preserved inside walls that nobody else can see. In a forest that no map will show you, running on a brain nobody else is allowed to touch. The invisible mansion is not really invisible. The owner is, and one day that may be the only part of them left. If you want to see what comes next, the home's being designed for 2040, 2045 and 2050. The next tour is already waiting for you on the channel. Some of them are bigger than this one. Some are stranger. None of them are quite this quiet. I'll see you inside the next one.